Hey, what is going on? I hope everyone's having a fantastic day. This is a really important weekend this weekend. I know that the preseason game tomorrow is probably not going to be much of anything, probably for a lot of guys that aren't going to make this roster and probably going to be too late by the time it happens. But obviously the cuts on Tuesday from 80 to 53, you have an extra 6 going to the practice squad. I think it went from 10 to 16. I'll have my final 53, I think, after the game Saturday. I'll probably have the video up by Sunday. And I don't know if I'm going to do it. I think I'm going to do one for with trades, and with moving certain players, and I think one without, and just kind of keeping it the way it is right now. But hey, it's a really important weekend. We have to watch out for the waiver wire. Howie Roseman looking for extra players, extra gems that teams are going to be, cutting some players that maybe have had some good, preseasons and really have no room for some of these players on those other rosters. So a lot of teams are making rough cuts this weekend. So it should be really, really interesting. Really interesting. What's going on? We got Hit the Gritty. We got Jadis Young. We got Ray. What's going on? Hit the Gritty. Silent Grant. Danny D. What's going on, dude? I hope you're having a fantastic day. Danny D said, I believe we're going with Sanders, Gainwell, and Scott. I don't know if they're going for a number 4 back. I feel like they're still trying to trade for a running back right now. I feel like it's still happening. Whether it's going to go and be Kareem Hunt, whether they trade, I don't know what they're doing. But it should be really interesting. Should be really, really interesting. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Kenyon Drake, it looks like he's getting released from the Raiders. He could be a nice, valuable piece for the Eagles to finish out his contract, if that's what they want to do. What's going on, Nina? What's going on? I hope you're having a fantastic day. I saw your tweet today on on Dan Silio today. It's kind of crazy, like how you can't have. I mean, there's a lot of people have no faith in Hurts. And look, I don't know what Hurts is going to do this year, but at least I'm going to give him a chance. I'm not going to talk all this crap about him. And look, I think Hurts has flaws. I think he got better from the beginning of last year to the end of last year. But I think, he looked pretty good out there, so far in preseason. It hasn't been enough. I thought that second preseason game, they should have had more reps, but that's just me. KZ says, we need kick returner bad. I totally agree with that. We need a kick returner. We need a punt returner and a kick returner. I don't know. It feels like Covey is actually playing better in these scrimmages than he is in these preseason games. It seems like the Eagles are favoring these. I mean, Nick favors these scrimmages over these preseason games, and whether it's going to be Huntley at kick returner or you're going to have Covey, or Allen hasn't really got a shot at special teams, so hopefully tomorrow we might see something. But is tomorrow really going to be enough? Is tomorrow really going to be enough for what we're going to do here? Collins said, I think the Eagles have a really good idea of who they want on the 53. Yeah, I think so. I think they do. It might be clear cut, to be honest with you. Jalen Reagor is I think one is going to be the Jalen Reagor situation if he's going to get traded. I mean, there's been rumors so far of 2 more teams being interested in an AFC team and an NFC team, not the old news of an AFC team, which is an AFC team, which was the Broncos. I think 2 more teams are interested that maybe want to trade, because I don't think the Eagles are going to waive him. I don't think they're going to have him go through the waiver wire. I think either he's going to be the number 5 receiver, but I just don't see it happening. I think that's going to come into fruition of what they're going to do. I think seeing what they're doing with that number 4 running back spot is going to be the big difference. Mike, what's going on, dude? Bryce, what up, dude? Legend says, which wide receiver should make the roster in your opinions? Well, as of right now, like if they're keeping 5 or 6, I really would like to, Devontae Smith, A.J. Brown, Quez Watkins, Zach Pascal. I think you have Deion Kane at number 5. And maybe if you want to add Britton Covey as a number 6, if that's what they want to do. Devin Allen really showed his speed in that last game, but a go route isn't going to tell me that this guy's going to make the team. Okay. It's not enough for me. He beat out the whole defense, had that great reception in the end zone, but is it enough? I don't know. They keep it 5, 6 receivers. If it's who's going to be the number 6, So, I mean, I think Deion Kane definitely deserves it. I think he made some tough catches. What do you have? 5, 6 catches for 62, 66 yards, whatever it was in that Browns game. I thought he played fantastic. I thought it was a really, really good day from Deion Kane. He really made some tough ones. And it made a lot of sense. So, we'll see. Maybe Maybe that will be the case. Let me put this stream on my phone real quick. Sorry. I should have did this before. And we are off and we are good. We're good to go. Michael, what's going on? Says, do you think we'll get Mike Gesicki? No, I don't think so. I mean, look, the Eagles should add a tight end regardless, but I mean, Grant Calcaterra was definitely one of my favorites coming into camp, but it'll be Dallas Goedert. I think they're keeping 3 tight ends. I think it will be Dallas Goedert, Jack Stahl, and Togiai, if that's his name. Colin said, I think they're going to get some sort of running back soon. I feel like there's something in the mix right now. I feel like something's in the mix. Mike, to Sanders, Gainwell, Scott, and then they should use me. I'd be a power back. I'm 6'4", 240. I'm definitely get through. Will you play for free, though? I mean, why not? I'd play for free right now to help this team out. Yo, showing off. What's going on, dude? Marcus says, Andre Dillard to the Steelers. Is there rumors on that? I thought I heard somebody mention it on Twitter earlier today, but I'm not really sure. I don't know about trading Dillard. I think that would be a big, big mistake. God forbid it. God forbid Jordan. If Jordan Mailata goes down, you have nobody. You got no left tackles. LaRaven Clark is always hurt. Okay, he is still hurt. He says, Tonic says, we may go after Murray, but I think it's a bad idea. Maybe. I don't know. There's a lot out there. You can go. Yeah, I mean, look, Latavius Murray, I think would be a good fit here. He is 32 years old, but thought he played really well for the Browns. For the Ravens last year. I mean, he had over 4 yards a carry, over 500 yards, 6 touchdowns, and he had a lot more on his plate being in that running back room last year, especially when they had injuries to that position. So I feel like him being a number 4, he's not going to have much pressure on him, and I think he's a natural catcher out of the backfield. And the Kenyon Drake news was really good too. I think he'd be fantastic here. That's just me. I just want to see them add some type of bruiser in the backfield if they can, because I don't think you're going to have Jason Huntley as your number 4. I just don't see it happening. Even though Jason Huntley is good, I feel like you could trade Jason Huntley if they really don't have any need for him, or you have pretty much another running back like him, like Boston Scott. Like, to add him as a number 4 just doesn't make any sense for me. They need that bruiser type back. It's just not enough. David says, yo, what's going on, Dave? We got Tavone Taylor says, do you think the cornerback from Clemson, Mario Goodrich, will make the 53-man roster, and what's your take on Rager? The Mario Goodrich has been quiet. I mean, he has done nothing. The Eagles gave him the most undrafted free agent money. Not only that, they gave Carson Strong a lot of money too, and he only has one pass in the books for Carson Strong. That's it. That's all. I don't know why they put him in at the end of the game with 2 minutes left. It just makes no sense. Like, what are they doing with him? Why haven't we heard enough from the beat writers about Carson Strong during these training camp sessions and these scrimmages? Always hear about Reed Sinnett, but never hear about Carson Strong. I've never seen them use their 4th quarterback, or just rarely use him whatsoever. It's just been really weird to me. The Rager situation is this. If there's teams interested, one of 3 things are going to happen. Either he will be released, which I don't think is going to happen. He will get traded, straight up Rager in a draft pick, or the Eagles are trying to find a position of need within that trade. I feel like they're trying to gouge a safety off some team, or I'm not saying a Pro Bowl caliber, but somebody that's playing really well right now that maybe the Eagles could pay, or maybe they're trying to find somebody for the future. I don't know what they're doing with Rager right now, but in my gut feeling for Jalen Rager is he's going to be gone. I don't think he's going to be here as a number 5 receiver. I think Deion Kane deserves a shot at the number 5. I think he's proved it more than Rager from the given opportunities, and people will have the excuse, well, Rager wasn't given a lot of opportunities in preseason. I don't know why the Eagles didn't throw to him that much. Deion Kane was thrown to a lot, made a lot of tough catches. So really, it's still up in the air. Big Mel said, I just think Grant is going to make the team for some reason. Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. He hasn't played a game yet. Hasn't played a scrimmage, hasn't played a game yet. So it definitely worries me a little bit. I was very excited for him. Him and Jalen Hurts getting back together again after, these years. And, he had the concussions, after being in Oklahoma, then transferred to SMU. I think he took a year off. But it's been kind of crazy. College, it seems Covey will be the guy kicker. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, so far in preseason, Covey has shown me absolutely nothing. But during these scrimmages and during, obviously the team facing each other, I thought he's done a really good job at kick return, punt return, whatever the case may be. So I know that Nick values the scrimmages more than what he's seeing in preseason, which I still don't get why, and I totally get it. But Juice says, I think for the wide receiver 3 spot is between Watkins and Kane. No. Watkins and Kane for number 3. If you don't think Watkins is your number 3 right now, then I don't know what to tell you. I mean, I respect your opinion, no doubt about it, but Watkins is your number 3, dude. Watkins is going to be in the slot against the number 3 cornerback, 647 yards, which he would have had probably 800 to 900, maybe 1,000-yard receiver last year. Okay, and 2 drops. I mean, come on now. Quez Watkins is definitely your number 3. I'm excited for Quez. I'm pumped to see Quez Watkins. That says, Joey, what's the most needed depth piece for the Eagles? Safety. Because really, Tart was on like the 3rd team defense. I mean, we made that one big hit near the sideline on that Browns player, but that was really it. I didn't see much more from Tart. Kevon Wallace actually had a really good second joint practice against the Browns, and he actually played pretty solid against them in the preseason game. So it just doesn't do enough for me right now with the depth piece that we have there. Not much depth there. Reed Blankenship, I think, has made his case for special teams. Most likely he'll probably be practice squad, but I thought Reed Blankenship has done a really good job. He's always made tackles at safety, not just, if they make a 20-yard, 30-yard play and he makes a tackle. I'm saying he's made some quick tackles at playing at safety, and he's made tackles on special teams. So Reed is another guy to definitely watch out for too. Nina says Sam Darnold high ankle sprain today. Yeah, I saw the clip. Brad says, apparently it's not just Nick that prefers the scrimmages over preseason games. It's becoming more of a, yeah, dude, the league is just getting weak. It's getting weak. I haven't liked what they did with training camp. An hour practice, barely even hitting. They're waiting for these scrimmages to hit each other, which I can't stand. I think it was horrible. They should have done a lot more. A lot more. You says, no, don't trade Andre. Hit says Alexander Madison for Eagles 4th-round pick. Yeah, I mean, I've talked to some Vikings fans about Madison, and he looks like the type of Dalvin Cook type player. I guess he's flashed a little bit, but never really had a chance. So, I mean, maybe you go over after Alexander Madison. There was rumors about the Eagles making phone calls, not just to the Vikings for multiple teams, but one that came out was calling the Vikings about Alexander Madison, which is interesting. Ryland, what's going on, dude? He says, Flagles 5, goodness sakes, come hang out with our boy Joey Shakes. What's good, dude? I'm here. I'm ready to go. Now, I wouldn't trade Dillard either, Nina. I think it's a big mistake. If Mulata gets hurt, you're screwed. You're done. At least with Dillard being there. Look, maybe in the offseason I said let's try to trade Dillard, but now I wouldn't because I think he's playing better. But I understand why Howie might want to trade him just because you don't want him to play this year and then walk away for nothing. His 5th-year option is $12.5 million. He was a first-round pick in 2019. So, I mean, I wouldn't go too much with it. I can't afford to trade him. You need – and plus, Dillard can't play the right side. They haven't cross-trained him. They're not going to do that. He's purely our left tackle. Mark says, your Triple Rager was a first round. He says, do you think Covey is enough to kick return of those special teams changing the game? Imagine having our offense and a guy that is us in good field position scoring touchdown consistently. Yeah, it would be great. But like I said, we're not seeing all these training camp practices. We're not seeing these scrimmages, like a whole live scrimmage on TV. We're not watching it with our own 2 eyes. But what I'm hearing is that he is playing better during these scrimmages than he is doing in these preseason games. So, dude says, yo, Kyle here, NFC Championship prediction, Bucks versus Eagles. Good. I mean, really, the Bucks and the Rams are like the 2 teams that are like really, really in the way. Oh, I missed the membership chat, did I? Oh, sorry about that. Wait, what? Somebody had a membership chat for 6 months, but it says the message got deleted. So I don't know who it's from because now it says nobody put it up. So if you could put it back up, I'll read it. It doesn't show me on StreamYard what's going on. It only shows me on my phone, which I haven't been looking at my phone at all, which is why I put it on here. So I'll keep it. Chris says, I'm disappointed in our return game safety, a decent punt. Kickoff return is still a big weakness. Let's hope Covey shows up. Yeah, we'll see what happens. Yeah, sorry about that. Put that back in if I didn't see it. God says Kane won't make the roster. If Rager's still here, Covey and Rager are a lock. Wide receiver 5 and 6. We also don't know how they feel on Ward. If Rager ends up being traded, Kane would make the roster. Yeah, I feel like no. I mean, I totally agree. Like if Rager doesn't go anywhere, I think Kane is not going to make it 100%. I don't think he's making it. But Covey and Rager, yeah, maybe. Yeah, I don't know if Ward's been out. He's missed too much time. Hightower missed way too much time. I think they both missed too much time as of right now, especially with that toe for Ward. Forget about it. Forget about it. Sorry, I'm going to go down this chat a little bit. I'm kind of like behind. Rollins says, I hope to God we sign Drake. I'm a huge Keon Drake fan. I think he would play great center, especially behind our O-line. I think it'd be a good sign because, number one, he's got really good vision behind. He would look great behind this offensive line. Not even just that. He's a natural catcher as well, which I really like from him. Did a lot of that last year with the Raiders. I'm only going off of last year because I'm not going to go off his whole career, but I'll go off of last year, which is good. So KZ Tonic says Rager going to the Packers probably for a late pick, but would be nice to give Rager in a 5th or 6th for AJ Dillon. Yeah, that's another underrated trade that could actually go down. And because really with AJ Dillon with the Packers, the Packers have not really utilized him the right way. Maybe the Eagles can really help him out and really make, kind of give a rise to his career a little bit. So we'll see. Sean says, I think they're hiding strong, especially if he doesn't play at all next game. Yeah, I'm gonna see if they play him. I don't know why. I've never seen this in a preseason before. They gave him a lot of money. Okay. They gave him a good amount of money. And not only that, I haven't heard nothing from training camp from Carson Strong. The open practice, I don't think he did anything for the open practice. Is he secretly going to make this roster? I mean, they're not keeping 4 running backs. They're going to keep 3, obviously. But, it makes no sense to me what they're doing. Hit agrees. Said, get the stream to 100 likes. I appreciate it so much. Definitely hit the like button if you guys have it. Yeah, he said, sorry, Rager's our return man, not my favorite. No, he's not a return man, dude. I mean, he looked like crap during that. Just put him on punt returns. When he had time to run forward, take that step forward and try to find open space, and he didn't do that. He went horizontal. He sidestepped. Can't sidestep on punt returns unless you see a wide open hole, but he's got to do better. I didn't like. Look, I wasn't impressed what I seen from Rager. I wasn't. As much as they were hyping him up during these training camp, I didn't see much of a difference from him. Yeah, he got open a couple times, a couple catches, but it didn't wow me. It didn't say, "Oh yeah, he's definitely making the roster." No, it was just what it is. Steve Power says Joby going to make the team. Josh Jobe is going to be interesting, man. It's going to be very interesting. Who are your how many corners you're keeping? 3 more corners, 6 cornerbacks most likely. You have Maddox, you have Bradbury, you have Slay, and I think as of right now you can kind of go down the depth chart and be like, Josh Jobe has really quiet in the beginning. Josh Jobe has quietly got more. It's gotten a lot better. I think it's going to be Jobe, McPherson, and Gowan. I think those are going to be your 3 guys. I think safe to say those are your 3 guys right now. So we'll see. We got a super chat from KZ Tonic. Thank you so much, man. Very much. He says, while we are BSing around, just want to say thank you for all the content you've been putting. Keep up the hard work. We all appreciate it. Hey, dude, I appreciate you coming to the channel and just supporting, and that's all that matters. Without you guys, this channel is absolutely nothing. But I enjoy doing this. It's a hobby of mine. I enjoy doing this. I'm glad you guys have followed me on the road. And it's been a lot of fun. So I'm excited for the season. I'm excited for just what's to come this year. And I appreciate it so much, man. Appreciate the kind words a lot. Really do appreciate it. Appreciate the people that have helped me on the way as well. So those guys will never be forgotten. If I hit 20,000 subscribers, I'm definitely going to do some giveaways. I'm going to give out some free merch to everybody. And definitely going to thank a lot of people that got me on the way to everything. So I appreciate it so much, man. Thank you for that super chat, though. Chris says, I'm going to say Eddie Jackson or Chuck Clark will be traded here for Riggs and a late draft pick. Yeah, I would like to see if maybe the Eagles and the Ravens get back together like they did in the draft. Like, Ravens had interest in Rager, but they didn't want to pull the trigger on it. I don't know why. Don't ask me. I have no idea. A trade for Eddie Jackson would be nice. But I think I don't know if they do that right now. I feel like they're going to sit with what safeties they have unless they're trying to find one in a Jalen Rager trade. because Jesse Bates signed his franchise tag, so he'll be available next year, next offseason in 23. I don't know where else they're going to go with this, but we'll see. We'll see. I don't know what they're going to do. Eddie Jackson, definitely another candidate for next year as well. So Ron says, Joey, how you feel about Quez and kick return? I don't think you're going to put any of these guys. Yeah, it's easy to say, let's put Quez at kick return. Let's put Devontae Smith at punt return. No, it's just not going to happen. I've heard people say that, and you don't want to risk these guys getting hit. You know what I mean? It's just, you don't want that to happen. I just don't think there's got to be somebody they can get off the waiver wire for special teams. There's got to be a special teamer that's going to get cut, that's going to be put on the waiver wire, and the Eagles are going to snatch him up. There's got to be somebody out there, somebody that has at least made noise for another team during for a punt return or kick return, or some type of specialist has still going to be out there that maybe gets released. So that gets waived. We'll see though. Highlight hitter says Devon Allen hype getting annoying. I like the touchdown, but like we already got quit. Yeah. I mean, look, like it's not a bad thing to have a couple speedsters, but Devon Allen getting just that go route touchdown was great. It was cool to see, like an explosive play from Reed Sinnett to Devon Allen, but it's not enough for me. Those plays are just flash. It doesn't show me consistency. It's great to watch, but it doesn't tell me that he's ready to, take the next step forward. I mean, he's still learning. This guy hasn't played football since 2016. At 20, was he 27? I mean, he's still, he's older. Don said, Josh Joe has been the best corner of all the backup corners, and the Eagles really like what they see in him. That's impressive for a rookie. Yeah, especially an undrafted rookie. So, Josh Jobe, I'm not saying that we're going to have our number 2 piece. And look, depending what they're doing, Slay is here for one more year after this year. Bradbury is a free agent after this year, depending on what they want to do. If they feel like they're going to go after corner in the draft next year, you're not going to sign one free agency unless it's going to be a re-sign from Bradbury or something. So it's going to be interesting what they do, and if they extend Slay as well. So I think Jobe was quiet. McPherson was making a little noise, and I think Jobe just kind of took over as the best backup corner that we have, because really that position and safety, I think those two really, they worry me a little bit. The backup corner. I mean, say if Bradbury goes down, who takes his spot? Do we trust Jobe to put? I mean, look, sometimes these guys get thrown into the fire. Jobe might get thrown into the fire this year. I mean, who knows? I think Bradbury's going to have a really good year, but you never know. Bain says, can Devin Hester come out of retirement and become our punt kick return? So he says, do you see us trading Pascal in the mid? Oh, no. Zach Pascal, that's Nick Sirianni's boy. Okay, you signed Zach Pascal, and when we signed him in the beginning, it was fantastic. Well, it was good at the time, but I didn't want that to be the only veteran wide receiver sign that we were going to have. I thought with having Zach Pascal, you're going to have a situational receiver that not only could be a backup, but God forbid you have an injury. Pascal knows how. He has started a lot of games. Originally with the Colts, he was a number 4, moved up to a number 3, moved up to be a 2 and a 1. He has been all over the place for the Colts those 2 years Nick was there. So an average 600 to 700 yard seasons in those 2 years, which is good. So no, I mean, you're not getting rid of Pascal, but I think Pascal, that's why Pascal is your number 4. I think Pascal, I didn't realize how fast he is. I mean, I know he at the break of his route, he looked really good, but he looked really good. I didn't think he was that fast, but he's very fast for a big receiver. Very good. Chris, our running backs were great last year. We still have the same back except for Howard. Yeah, pretty much, which they can always sign back. Target says, hey, Joe, I think Rager has no value per wide receiver. Start the Olympian wide receiver Smith and Brown. Well, I'm not saying I don't. Well, there's got to be some interest. It looks like he has interest. I'm not saying that Rager has dead. I don't think he has dead no value. I think there's some little type of value, but not that you're going to trade Rager for like a top player or something like that. That's probably not going to happen. But I think there's enough to where there's going to be a team that takes a chance on him. They're going to say, let's try to revive his career. Let's see what he does for this year. That's why I was okay trading him to the Ravens. Rashad Bateman being really the only receiver they have. The Bears, especially, just because, the Bears are a rebuilding team right now that definitely can use more receivers. The more, the merrier. So we'll see. I think there's going to be a team that gives him a shot. Because I was expecting more from Zach McPherson, but apparently he's been okay. I think he's done enough to make the roster, but I don't know if he's our best guy. I think he's Job, and even with the Jets game, I think Job and McPherson kind of struggled a little bit. Okay, I think they struggled, but they came back and stayed very competitive, which I did like. So that's really all that matters to me. Michael D said, "Which position would you want us to draft next year?" Oh, I'm going after defensive end next year. I mean, I have Graham leaving this team. He's going to be done after this year unless they bring him back. But Barnett's on the roster for one more year, which they can get out of that contract after this year if they want. Okay. But we need a monster defensive end next year. They have to get the best defensive end in the draft next year. I think defensive end is going to be your main target for next year. James, I think Rager will hopefully bounce back. It was good plays come with no time to think. Do you like my new pick? I do like the new pick. And yes, I mean, look, if I have no problem with giving him another chance, but he's never going to hit the field this year. It's just not going to happen. So you might as well get rid of him, trade him somewhere, let him go to a new team, new surroundings, new fan base, let him just do his craft somewhere else, man. Might be the best for him. Styles says, if we trade Rager in a fourth for A.J. Dillon, it would be a steal. A.J. is undervalued and underrated. I totally agree with that. Totally agree. We got a comment star. If we didn't have Covey, then Huntley would have made the roster because of special teams, but they like Covey's special teams ability more. And that might be true. Huntley, I don't think you're just going to keep him for special teams. Like, I feel like Huntley could be I think he could be a rotational back on another team. I really do. I don't know if maybe they trade him or maybe I don't know what they do with him because I don't think he makes it as a number 4. I don't think he's going to be the number 4 receiver here. But with Covey is an interesting one. I feel like the coaches have praised him a lot. Like I said, I'm going to say this a million times. Nick likes these scrimmages. He values them more than these preseason games. And Covey has played better in those scrimmages. We got Chicken Cheesesteak Lover says, shout out from Brazil. Love the content. First time in years cutting down to 53 was tough. Howie loaded up on potential and talent. It's all on the coaching. I believe Sirianni personally. Yeah, I definitely believe in Sirianni. I think I didn't really like him beginning of the season because he was calling the plays and we weren't running the ball at all. And then he gave the play, pretty much the playbook to Shane Steichen. While Nick was kind of monitoring the matchups. And I definitely, especially after that Jets game as well, yelling at Robert Saleh across the field on that late hit on Jalen Hurts. I've always, I've definitely grown to like Nick Sirianni a lot. But yeah, you're cutting down from 80 to 53 on Tuesday. It's going to be nuts. It's actually exciting because the waiver wire is going on. The Eagles are going to be looking at on the waiver wire what players are getting released. They're going to try to grab somebody if a player drops to us on the waiver wire. Now I don't know where we are on the waiver wire. I want to kind of see where we are. I'm not sure because there is a list of teams in order on the waiver wire. Hopefully we're not too far down, but we'll see. Let's just say that Jalen is our guy by the end of the season. What's our draft scenario for the Eagles 23? If Jalen is our guy with having 2 first-round picks and a second-round pick next year, okay, you just got a 6th-round pick. You just got the 6th-round pick for trading Hugo Amadi because now you're going to have more day 3 picks, especially you got rid of your 7th. You got a 6th-round pick. So how the hell he did that, I don't know. I mean, we literally picked him up a few days ago, and then we traded him again. So we actually got some worth for J.J. Arcega-Whiteside. For next year, I think they put all their cap space into paying a safety. I think they go into the draft. They go get a defensive end. Okay. They go get a defensive end. They draft a corner. I think they trade back one of their first-round picks, their other first-round pick, to get another first-round pick for 2024. If you trade back one of your first-round picks for 2024, okay, you're going to have 2 firsts and 2 seconds. Remember, you have that extra second-round pick from the Eagles-Saints trade. In 24, the extra second-round pick is there. I think they should keep this thing rolling where they trade back another first-round pick for the next year. This way, you get your defensive end for the future. You go into the second round and get a corner. You got some day 3 picks to move up. You got some day 3 picks to move up in the second round or back into the first if you want to go get a top cornerback. If Bradbury's not re-signed, I think that would be perfect for us. You draft another left tackle. You draft a left tackle that Jeff Stoutland likes. Hopefully Jeff Stoutland is still here. I think there's plenty of things they could do in this draft. Draft another running back if Miles is gone, which I think he's going to be gone. So I think there's different things they could do. She said, hopefully that Turpin gets cut and we get him. Just imagine. Yeah, I don't think so, though. I don't think so. Yeah, I mean, he's going to be good. Well, we'll see. We'll see what happens. It's preseason. We'd be hyped right now if Covey had a punt return touchdown and a kick return touchdown. We'd be hyping that up like there's no tomorrow. So I don't blame him. I mean, if they don't keep him, I'll be shocked. Jay says, I'm worried about Gannon. I don't think he's going to play the gritty Eagles defense like Jim Johnson. We have the pieces and he wants to give up yards again. You know what's crazy, though? That Browns preseason game, that Eagles defense was so quiet and so passive, that soft zone coverage that we were playing, it really made me nervous and kind of reminded me of last year. Yeah, I think if Gannon does well, he's gone. I think if he actually fails this season, he's still gone. I think Vic Fangio could be your defensive coordinator by next year, regardless if Gannon does well with this defense or not. So we'll see. Because I'm officially doing my season game by game tomorrow after the game. Oh, dude, good luck with that, man. So Nate says, why do I see Pascal trade during the season? I don't know why people are talking about a Pascal trade. I just don't think that's going to happen. I really don't. Kyle says, yeah, that Devon Allen touchdown blew up the internet on the football side of things. Colin Starr says, yeah, Job has a James Bradbury skill set, which is great. Yeah, I think his physicality is definitely one on coverage. When it's contested catches, he gets into the arms of the receiver. And he's smart. He's always in the right spot, the right time to get his hands on the football, which is good. So, Chris, I just need to say this. I love Sirianni. He's a very likable dude off the field. He's a really good young coach that actually develops young players. We'll see. I mean, this year it's going to tell everything because I'm guarantee you after this year, they're going to be firing some positional coaches. Some changes are probably going to be made after this year. Okay. I think it's up to Hurts and it's up to your two coordinators and Shane Steichen and Jonathan Gann to get this thing rolling. Because Joey Rager has been a starter for years, but Allen is already a good or better, but he can't be a starter. He's worse than Rager. Good or better. Rager has been a starter for years, but Allen is already as good or better, but he can't be a starter. He's not worse than Rager. I don't get it. You're really confusing on that. So you're saying that Allen is already has played as good as Rager, but he's not worse than Rager. So you're saying that Allen should make this roster, pretty much? Sean says, I hope we get a running back. Yeah, I feel like we're going to. I feel like they're not done at that running back spot. There's no way. I think that they need that pushback, especially when you're on those third and goals, second and goals. Like, you want to score quick, man. You want to just use a big back like they did, just like LeGarrette Blount in 2017. You just want to use a big back and just get it in there. I think that's what you want to do. Allen is not better than Rager. I think that's I don't know. I wouldn't say Allen. I don't think Allen is better when it comes to being a receiver. Probably not right now. No, I don't think so. Special teams, maybe he's going to be better. I'm not sure, but Eugene said, I like our running back core. Don't think we need to trade for one since Jalen can scramble too. Yeah, but you got to have that big back for the short yardage, man. You still need it. Look what Jason Huntley did. Look what he did on second and goal. What was it? 2nd and 1, 3rd and 1 near the goal line. Near the end zone, and they couldn't get it in. It's taking you 2-3 chances to run it in. It's a problem. You need that bigger back. I still think they need it. Round says, is Mario Goodrich going to make this team? I haven't heard anything from him, and we paid him some money. No, I haven't heard nothing, which I'm actually shocked. I thought they would have at least had him at corner, and then maybe cross-train him to safety because we had so many bodies at corner. I was like, they got to cross-train some of these guys to safety. I thought Goodrich and Job were probably two guys I thought would have cross-trained, and they didn't. Cordell says Joey Allen could be the next. Yeah, I don't think so. I mean, he runs a 4.4. I don't even think he runs in the 4.3s. When Djax was drafted, what was he? 4.27, 4.26? I think it was a 4.26. Thomas says, Zach Pascal's been great training camp. I was not expecting him to be this great. They were definitely going to be rotating him in games of Quez. Oh, I think he'll be situational, dude. Inside the 20, red zone, short yardage, something quick too. I mean, Pascal being in the game is not going to worry me at all. Juice, I don't think Goodrich is going to make the team. He's been very quiet. So far. Yeah. Kevin says, Pascal's probably the best number 4 in the league. Jeff says, if JJ had any value, then Rager has value. Well, when did JJ have value? You're talking this year. Once they put JJ to tight end, they knew he wasn't going to make this team. Okay. That's the whole thing with that situation. As soon as they moved JJ to tight end, that wasn't to justify the pick. That was just to put a body there, number one. Number two, that was a lose-lose situation. And for some reason, okay, how he was traded before Rager was traded, I still don't get it. I don't get it. So they said the only team I see giving Rager a shot is what Chicago Bears. Yeah, don't be surprised. There might be some other teams that might want to use him. So, Casey, I'm also very curious why Vic Fangio is hanging around Eagles practice so much. I love to add him to our staff. Yeah, he might be. Even if he's not a defensive coordinator next year, he maybe will be a defensive assistant. I mean, who knows? I mean, that's a good thing, though, to see Vic Fangio at the Eagles practice. Like, is he best friends with Nick Sirianni? Like, what's going on? I have no idea. Guys said, what's happening, Joey? You think Howie will package Dillard and Rager to a trade that would you rather keep the depth? No, I need Dillard on this team. There's no way. They trade Dillard, I'm going to be pissed. If Milana gets hurt, you're screwed. You're done. Good luck to Jalen Hurts' blind side. He's going to get sacked 7-8 times a game. It's not going to be good. You trade Dillard, it's not going to be good. Eagles fans said, if Hurts works and I'm doing everything I can to get Will Anderson from Alabama, he's a transcendent talent. Jakes. No, I totally agree. A lot of people have been talking about him a lot. A lot of people, the last time I did a stream, there was a lot of people talking about Will Anderson. So definitely a name to watch out for. Javon Thompson, big game tomorrow for special teams. Yeah. I mean, really, there's only the only thing I'm looking at for tomorrow's preseason game is Carson Strong, Covey, Allen, and just see what else we have. Maybe some more Kennedy Brooks, which Brooks, the Eagles, especially with Kennedy Brooks, they're just trying to see what he could do. So they throw him a screen pass. They run him sideline to sideline. They run him north and south, which is my favorite. And I think he will be better there. But it is what it is. We'll see what happens. Those are my few players I'm going to be looking at. Can't imagine the Eagles are not bringing back BG, especially since we don't have a replacement. Well, that's what I'm saying, dude. They go into the draft and get the replacement for BG next year. You can't keep bringing BG back. There's going to be a time where he just can't play anymore. Hopefully, I don't care about sacks. He's just got to be disruptive on the edge. And hopefully he helps Fletcher Cox out. And God knows that man needs help as well. So, Joey, what's your thoughts on Deion Kane? I personally want him on the roster to replace Rager. Dude, I totally agree with that. I want Deion Kane as our number 5. I don't think Rager's going to be here. I think he's getting traded. Gut feeling says he's not going to be here. There's been way too many rumors. And usually the things that, look, the JJ Arcega-Whiteside trade, who would have known that was going to happen? That probably just came up like really fast. Seattle was down a lot of receivers, a lot on injury list right now. So they decided to bring him in. And I know that, they were kind of grabbing straws a little bit. They were kind of reaching a little bit when they were talking about him in Seattle, like he was the next thing coming, the second coming. But John said, what do you think about putting Kane back there for punt returns? Yeah, I don't know. Depending on his speed, I'm not sure. And I'm not saying he's got a lot of speed, but the guy can contest catches really well. So he made some really tough catches. Chris said, I guarantee Gann was promised a job. Houston, their head coach, 23. I think Vic Fangio is learning our players to become our defensive coordinator next season. That would be nuts. That would be nuts. Scott Davis says, Kane or Allen? I'm probably gonna pick Kane or Allen. Well, it depends. You're only keeping 5 receivers. So you think the Eagles are only keeping 5? If you're only keeping 5, I think you're signing Kane. If you keep 6, you're going to have Kane, but I think Kane is still going to be here regardless. Because at what game on the schedule you have circled as a measurement game? I think the first 2 games are going to be measurement games. You're facing I've been watching a lot of the Hard Knocks Detroit Lions stuff and haven't really been that impressed with it. But, a team that definitely got better this year, no doubt about it. But I think it's a really good test for us to go to Detroit and see what we could do. And then facing the Vikings week 2, yeah, it's going to be interesting. Kirk Cousins can throw the football to his receivers. It's going to be, I think, 2 tests. Especially, I'll be at that home opener against the Vikings. Should be a lot of fun, and hopefully we make some noise. I think the 2 first games are definitely big tests for us. Well, I say we better go either corner safety this year in the draft with one of our first round picks. Eagle Land says Will Anderson or bust. Forget everything else. Ronnie says switch that corner first round and defensive end, second round stop with his first round defensive ends. Colin says, why do we need to draft another left tackle? We have Mulata. Because we need depth. That's the only reason why. Says, I don't think Pascal will get traded. I don't think so either. I'd be shocked if that happens. iStat says, we need to keep Deion Kane. I totally agree. I think they have to. So it says, let's not overhype the Allen deep ball. Yeah, that's why I didn't. I liked it, but I'm not overhyping it. I thought it was great. It was entertaining. You know, I was happy for him, and I was happy for Reed Sinnett to throw that bomb. So really showed off how fast he really is. So that dude said there's going to be a lot of surprise, decent name players cut in the next few days. So need to worry about finding depth. Joe said, what up, Joey? What's going on, Joe? Lee says, I thought Goodrich was going to outplay Job simply because Goodrich was mainly a zone corner. Would have thought that fit our scheme better with the guaranteed money. Maybe the red shirt practice squad. Yeah, I mean, Goodrich might be on practice squad most likely. I don't think he's done enough to really do anything. He's been quiet. And he was the big undrafted free agent that got the most money too, so it was kind of nuts. Chris says he's a clone of Parsons, but Anderson is much bigger, but as fast and definitely stronger. Ryan says, why are we talking about Allen, who's going to be on practice squad? That's what's wrong with this fan base. We always overhype practice squad players. I don't know. Allen has done nothing. Besides that one catch, he hasn't done anything. JJ Thega White's crap side is gone. Thank goodness. Fulgham should have been on the roster over him last year. At least Fulgham had some sort of spark. Yeah, but the thing is with Fulgham, he didn't have a strong camp. Even that year when he exploded, he didn't have a good camp either. He was quiet during camp. And then, that's what happens. He was quiet during camp. And then week 8, the week 8 came and he just took off. Jay Milton from Jersey Shakes. What's up, man? Good to catch your live stream. Fly outside. I appreciate it, Jay Milton. Thank you for coming in, man. Chris the Shakes knows I love Goodrich over Joe, but Joe deserves to make the team. Goodrich doesn't. I totally agree. Totally agree. Jeremiah Butler says, I want Covey to replace Rager. Yeah, it might. I mean, if they're keeping 6 receivers, in my opinion, I think they're keeping 6. So I think you're able to keep Covey and replace Rager and put Deion Kane as your number 5. So I think it's literally possible to do it. Ron says, Joey, how would you feel if Sirianni started using AJ like San Fran uses Debo? AJ is 6'1", 225. He's a beast of a receiver. I don't know if they're going to do that. I don't see them doing that with him. I can't really picture it, to be honest with you. Jeremiah says Allen is gone. Sorry, people. We got Super Chat for T.L. Hopkins. Thank you so much, man. He says, are you playing this year? Dude, I should be playing this year. You talking about Lane Johnson? You talking about me or actually Lane Johnson as me? Yeah. Lane Johnson should be playing this year. So, yo, Twan Eagles, what's going on, dude? Says Shakes, Rager or Allen or McCain, who and why? Rager or Allen or McCain, who and why? I'm picking McCain because he showed me the most out of everybody. I mean, how much can I go off of it? I mean, I can only go off of what I hear in training camp, what I hear in these joint practices, and what I see in these preseason games. I think Deion Kane has done well over enough, getting 60-something yards. 6 catches for 60-something yards? And making really tough catches? Easel Land says Rager, 2020, 396 yards, 2021, 299. That's a regression. Total 695 yards in 2 seasons. That's easily replaceable. Rager's production doesn't warrant a roster spot. I totally agree. I feel like he just has to just start his career somewhere else. Just kind of revive himself somewhere else. Douglas says Allen will scare defenses to create space for Smith and Brown, which is 100% more useful than Rager. Joe says, if Dallas offered you a second round for Dillard, would you take it? As much as I wouldn't want to give us Devontae for over Giants as a second rounder is a good trade for someone we won't resign. I mean, if they offer us a second for him, yeah, it's hard not to say no to that. Like, I'm very 50-50 on it because I don't want to give them a left tackle. That's going to be start because Dillard could start for another team right now. A second round pick, it'd be tough. Maybe I would do it, but it would be tough for. I'd be like semi pissed off that we did that, but at the same time, because it kind of screws us over, having a backup left tackle, but having an extra second round pick for next year. Yeah, you'll have 2 firsts and 2 seconds. It sounds pretty good to me. But brother Rob says, "What up, Joey? I'm pumped, dude. I can't wait till this game's over tomorrow." Let's be real. Like I'm excited to watch it. To watch a few players that I'm kind of looking for tomorrow, but I'm excited for this whole thing to be over with and just get our sights on the Detroit Lions. Called it should be interesting. I'd rather lose in preseason. Evan says, who do you think we get for Rager? I don't know. I would say, like, if you trade, they could be trading for a running back for Rager. They could be trading for a safety for Rager. It just depends. Not sure. Jay Miller says, I'm sure you possibly covered it, but do we trade Dillard? We haven't. I do not think, because we have some continuity of the offense with him. I think, I don't like the trade unless it's a no-brainer. Yeah, unless it's something that's like gonna boil me over to where I have to get rid of him and it's gonna give us something really good in return. We'll see. Ryan says, I hope somehow we get Chuck Clark. Yeah, we'll see if the Eagles and Ravens get back together for a trade, but I don't know. I thought the front office wasted time getting Bates because I'm not set on Epps. I mean, I think Epps has always been solid for the Eagles. I think the Eagles are comfortable with Epps, but they've always tried to upgrade, so they're not going to stay this way with our safety group. Epps is actually a free agent next year. Harris is a free agent next year. So at this point, I think they get whatever money they can and put money into that position next year. I think as in free agency, I think their top target is a safety. I don't think they draft one. I think they go out and pay one. So I said, how about Rager for Chuck Clark? I would love it. I would love it. Philly D said, Jurgens looks great. Kelsey clone. Totally agree. Even the first run play we had, even, what was it, with Boston Scott? I mean, it was just ridiculous. I think it was game over Boston Scott when he shoved that guy on the ground. I mean, a few times he pulled to the left, to the right. He looks really, really good. Really good. I mean, I've been amazed. We had three immediate impacts. When's the last time the Eagles had a preseason game and three of your top draft picks literally made immediate impacts between Jordan Davis, Cam Jurgens, and especially Nakobe Dean? It hasn't happened in a long time. Mash Josh says Eagles should sign a good running back like Kareem Hunt or Josh Jacobs if Eagles are releasing Sanders next year. Yeah, I think, I don't, and look, I think if they pick up Josh Jacobs, that would be fantastic if they could do that. I think he'd be a beast. And I think what Josh Jacobs is what we really want Miles Sanders to be. But still out with that hamstring injury. He hasn't even practiced yet, still since the hamstring. So it's already missing a lot of time. Not saying they should have thrown him to a preseason game, but he's still not even dressed for practice yet, which is really alarming right now. I think the Eagles are trying to move 2 steps in front just to make sure if Sanders is a no-go for the start of the season, then we're going to have a running back here. There's no doubt they're trading for a running back. Is Chuck Clark still out there? Yeah, he's still available. Banks says safety would be better if they trade Rager. Yeah, maybe. Great job, Joe. Keep the great work. I appreciate it so much, John. Pete takes it. Are the Eagles starting playing tomorrow night? No. If you didn't see stars in that second game, you're not getting stars in this third game. T-Post said wouldn't only trade Dillard to the Cowboys for Parsons. That would be the only exception, right? Rashad Patterson said Eddie Jackson. Yeah, I mean, I don't think they do that this year. I don't think they make it. I mean, they could. Look, if Rager goes to the Chicago Bears need an unlimited supply. They need an unlimited supply of wide receivers. And if there's some way they can try to gouge him off that roster, yeah, that would be fantastic. Jesse Bo says, Shakes, keep Dillard like putting insurance on insurance. We need him because injuries happen and this team is slowly getting whacked with players hurt. Stop this nonsense and get a safety and halfback. Evan says, I forgot we should get Eddie Jackson. Brother Roger, you know what, Joey? We should fuck with Cowgirls and offer them Dillard for 2 first-rounders. Well, yeah, dude, like when you trade to a rival, you can't give up a player for nothing to them. You can't, especially if you give up Dillard, a starting left tackle. There's no way you want more picks. I would take a second and a 4th round for him. I mean, right now I would do it. But you could totally screw with them. There's no doubt about it. Joe says, running back worries me as much as safety. We need a power back in the red zone. I totally agree. That's why I said earlier in the stream, like those times where we saw in those preseason games, these last 2 preseason games where Huntley's in the backfield and our Boston Scott's back there and they're trying to, it takes a couple tries to get back. I think the Jets game, that there was a problem with that because Huntley is just too small. You need a big back so you don't have to run 2 more times. You don't have to run on 3rd, on 4th down. Like, you know what I mean? Like you have to get that power back in the building. Johnson, they need to draft to save next year. Hopefully hit a home run this year with the draft. Now we'll have to do this again next year. We'll do it again next year. I have full faith. Seriously, I've been hearing stuff on Eddie Jackson. What's up with that? I haven't heard anything. If there's been news about Eddie Jackson, you let me know because I haven't been on Twitter too much today at all. So if something did happen, I probably missed it, but I'll definitely see what's going on. Says, I think they trade for running back, whether it's Hunt or Jacobs. Either way, I don't see Sanders getting traded just yet. No, I don't think. I think Sanders plays I think he plays out his contract this year, but I'm already preparing myself that Sanders isn't going to be here after this year. So Ron said, Mulata goes down. We still have Dillard, but what if someone offers a first-round pick for Dillard? Do we do it? Yeah, I think you have to. I think if you're offered a first-round pick for Dillard, I think you have to do it. I think you got to do it. I mean, God forbid if Hurts isn't our quarterback, if he doesn't get an extension and we need draft capital and as much as possible, you never know. But if he works out and you can trade Dillard for a first rounder, yeah, it's going to hurt our offensive line. There's no doubt about it. So someone's going to have to cross-train, whether it's Jack Driscoll or somebody's going to have to cross-train. Jack Driscoll did play left tackle, played multiple positions at Auburn, so maybe he would be a candidate for left tackle backup-wise. But a first-round pick for Dillard, you're pulling the trigger. You can't turn that down. You can't turn it down. Dave said in the NFL, why are defensive players wearing numbers that were always slotted for offensive players? What changed with that? It's just the rules now, man. That's just the way it is. I don't like the number thing. I can't stand it. I hate it. It just looks too like gimmicky, And like, what if you buy a jersey and that player changes his number next season? And it's already happened a million times. It's already happened. A lot of people had to buy new jerseys because of that stupid rule. So we got 180 in the chat right now. Appreciate everybody coming in. If you guys haven't subscribed to the channel. If you guys haven't, like the stream if you guys haven't either. Check the memberships in the pinned comment for extra content all year round. We'll have extra content, throughout the season and all that great stuff. And I want to give an update to the Teespring merch store. I actually put some new merch in there with the new logo and everything. I actually have somebody right now making another design for a shirt for me. So I'm going to have multiple shirts once, if I hit 20K down the road, we'll be giving out. I'll be definitely giving out a lot of giveaways for free merch and stuff like that. But as of right now, I erased the whole entire Teespring store. Depending on what you're looking at, probably on YouTube, you probably see it on the bottom. We got some new designs right now. We have another new design coming out so slowly. The store is coming back with new stuff because I kind of ignored it for a long time and didn't really do much with it because I just didn't have time. But definitely check out some of that stuff if you guys haven't. The link is in the live chat as well. So copy and paste that. You'll be good. Kyle said Jalen Reagor is going to have an amazing time dealing with the Chicago fan base if he ends up there. Yeah, maybe. We'll see. We got Bob Ballas says, did you see the John Clark clip where Rick Spielman says he mentioned to Howie about trading for Madison? What would we send in the deal? That's an interesting one, really. Huh. So for Madison, I mean, I don't know, dude. Maybe a 4th or a 5th round pick. I mean, it's a day 3 pick, no doubt. I think it is a day 3 pick. So it could be a 4th to a 5th. John says, Joey, we should have gone after Bates. What was he asking for money-wise, and what did Bengals give? I don't know. I don't know what he was asking for. Though that news hasn't come out, but he signed his franchise tag. There's nothing we could do. Yeah, you could trade for a guy that's on a franchise tag, but then you can't extend him when he's on that franchise tag if you trade for him. So it's just not going to happen. You wait till next year till he becomes a free agent and you see what you could do. I don't know if trading for a safety is going to be the move right now. Maybe trading for a good depth piece, that could contend for maybe being a starter. Maybe could happen. Chicago says, Joey, maybe it's too hard on Reagor. Reagor did his job better than Fauci did his. Shad Paris says, pretty strange Vic Fangio was at the Eagles practice. Yeah, dude, it's kind of crazy. Sam says, hamstring injuries are trickery. Everyone knows he has a spot for this year, and they aren't worried about him playing or what we think, but they do have concerns about his availability for future. John says, the problem you have is that Howie is about winning in the trenches, so we, Joey, need to draft the right tackle next year's draft. Yeah, right tackle is going to be another issue. How many more years? Lane Johnson's got, 2 years left on his deal, but they need a defensive end as well. I don't have Brandon Graham coming back. It's just you're prolonging it. If you have a chance to get one of the best defensive ends in the draft, you go after it. So I think you have to do the same thing. Within these 2 years, you draft another right tackle for Lane Johnson to kind of, mentor him. Maybe do the same thing. Let Lane kind of help Howie in collaboration to maybe, draft a right tackle or sign one, depending on what they do. So this is doing an interesting fact. Joey, cheese is goldfish juice. Ryan says they're already projecting us getting a corner from Alabama next year, safety from Alabama with our first pick. Yeah, we'll see. Depending what we're doing with these first round picks, man, it depends how good this quarterback does too. So, Juices says, I just realized every good player that comes from Penn State gets injured, like Saquon, Connor Sanders, Godwin, maybe Micah this season. I hope it does. Yeah, it's shown kind of a trail. John says, are the Bears looking at Rager? From what I know right now, no. Taylor says, do you have a ritual before beginning of the season? Like, do you order pizza, wings? I mean, I eat earlier in the day because I have to stream these games every week. But I'll be at the tailgate for the Vikings home opener. So for that game, for prime time, I'm definitely going to be grilling steaks, burgers, hot dogs, all that great stuff. So it's always a great time. But International said, Madison is a monster, been bringing juice to the Vikings running game for a few years now. Debo says, Shakes, we need to improve the running back situation. I don't have faith in any of the four of them combined. Voltron isn't a recipe for failure. Please address the failure ASAP. I don't think it's as horrible as you think it's bad. I don't think it's that bad. I mean, you don't have that special skill set back with Miles Sanders being injured right now. So I feel like with this offensive line, you don't have to – like, here's the thing. Like, people look at the running back core and – I mean, look what the Patriots did for years with James White and some of these other running backs that they had. They weren't special. Like these running backs that the Patriots had when Brady was taking pay cuts every single year to sign more players, these guys weren't – you can have a good offensive line. You don't have to worry about paying for these special skill set backs. As long as you have a back that can produce, that can run, good vision, you're going to be productive, But, yeah, I mean, no touchdowns for Miles Sanders last year, but averaged over 5 yards a carry, but with two major injuries that really just kept him out of way too many games last year. So – Zone says a midseason Graham trade? That would be interesting. Well, depending on how good Graham is doing, if he's doing too well, you can't get rid of him. Colin says, I would want to give Vic the DC job right now. I'm so worried that Gann is going to waste the amazing potential. I mean, yeah, who knows? He might. That Browns game really annoyed me, the way he was playing that soft zone coverage. And he barely blitzed the whole game, a few times in the first half, a few times at the end of the game, but he barely blitzed, barely just did a combination of things. It looked like what we looked like last year. It was actually really scary. People said Miami beat Raiders are saying how amazing Kaiser White looks. They said Chargers are big time regretting letting him go. I have no doubt about that, bro. Kaiser White is and look, there was rumors that Kaiser White didn't fit the scheme for the defense this year and look, the Chargers have a revamped defense this year that, they're going to be a Super Bowl contender this year. They're going to be really good. But a lot of the Charger fans were pissed after the Eagles signed him in free agency. And he had the choice of maybe going back. Maybe there was some type of, maybe there was a chance. But I felt like the Chargers the front office didn't want him back. The fans wanted him back. And he signed with the Eagles. And I think he's going to be one of our Pro Bowl players this year. I think he's going to play very, very well. I think he's going to be one of the most underrated signings we've had, to be honest, this year. Last out says, what about that running back? Yeah, Kenyon Drake would be perfect. Love Kenyon Drake. I think he's a natural catcher out of the backfield. Great vision. He only played 12 games last year. He broke his ankle last year. So he only played 12 games, missed a little bit more time. So he's coming off that broken ankle. I think it's low risk, high reward. I think he only costs like 3.8 for the year. So he's relatively okay cheap. He's not that expensive. So I think he's very affordable. 5,000 count Drake highlights are great. Yeah, dude, he's a good player, man. He had a broken ankle last year, but I think he's still a good player. Ryan said, I get so pumped, I forgot to eat and then binge after the game. Colin says, I would want to extend Bradbury depending on how good he plays. Slaying Bradbury is dangerous. Now, if Bradbury plays very well, he might be more expensive. So that's going to be a whole nother thing. The Eagles need to sign a safety. The Eagles need to, figure out this number 2 corner. The Eagles are going to have to figure out this cornerback spot next couple of years because Slay is only here for one more year after this year. That's it. He's a free agent. So I would, if it was me, I would draft a corner. I would draft a corner in the second round. I don't know what they're going to do because I don't like going to free agency for cornerbacks. I hate the money. It's just like free agency. Free agency is all about overpaying for players, and that's what it is. But cornerback is one of the most expensive positions, and no corner is worth. So we've dipped into that so many times for so many years. I don't even want to do it anymore. I'm just not interested in doing it anymore. John says, Joey, the first college game is, I think, tomorrow, if I'm not mistaken. Who's playing tomorrow? Bad said, I think the Eagles might want to wait, sign Howard to the practice squad and call him up to game day for a big back and to save a roster spot. That might happen. We'll see. Ron said, would you bunch both first round picks next year to get top 5 for Will Anderson, the best defensive end in college football, have been going top 5? Yeah, I mean, that's not a bad idea. If it takes that much, things always happen for a reason. Really depends on how bad the Saints play this year as well, because we have one of their first round picks. So we'll see. Sam 6 says, I think we're going to bring BG back for pennies to let him go out on his terms. Our organization is trying to build a reputation of rewarding players. Yeah, but don't reward players off of bad years. That's what the Eagles have did since the Super Bowl. They were rewarding too many players off of bad seasons. And I'm not saying like really since that Super Bowl, even a couple years, 3 years after that Super Bowl, okay, they were giving out these big contracts like, oh, like you helped us win a Super Bowl. They were giving out kind of awards for that. And I didn't really like that too much. Brandon Brooks, I think, ended up getting an extension, which, you know, obviously didn't work out. Wisniewski, I think they tried to re-sign him, got beat out by Isaac Samalo. There was a lot of contracts I didn't like. Obviously, the Alshon Jeffrey contract was a good contract. At the time it was, and then kind of fell apart after that. So the Eagles should not lock into anything, which I do like. I like that there's a lot of one-year deals this year with a lot of players. You know, with Anthony Harris, Marcus Epps, TJ Edwards, you know, like a lot of these guys are on one-year deal. Kaiser White, one-year deal. I like that because now the Eagles have more options. Don't lock players up unless you know that you're building around those players, like they did with Josh Wett and Mulata and some of these other guys, and Maddox. You know, some of these other guys you locked in. That was part of our free agency too. So, Sean said, I'm good. I'm over again. Always wear those damn sunglasses. John said, Vic Fangio's Pennsylvania kid, Joey. I didn't know what I think. He's from Scranton, PA. Comment starts to somehow the Patriots and 49ers can put no-name running backs in their system and they somehow produce really well. Jesse says, say that to yourself out loud. No touchdowns. Wow, that stinks. Speaking of stinks, Rager is still on the roster. Dude needs to leave in shame and be a hero somewhere else. You dig? Yeah, I agree. Look, I don't think Rager's going to be here at all. I don't think he's going to be on this roster. I think a trade is going to happen. And my gut feeling says he's not going to be here. Yeah, I understand he had no touchdowns last year. He got hurt twice, and it is what it is. It's not enough for me. He's got to score. I mean, I think with Miles Sanders being on the field and healthy, he could pull off an 80-yard run at any instant. I think it could happen at any time, but I'm kind of preparing myself that he's not going to be healthy this season, and they're going to go sign another running back. And I think that's what's going to happen. So. Cause I've been saying that about Chargers. OG Philly guy, what's going on? I said I would like to see Deion King get some more reps. Dude could be a problem. He was in college. He played for Clemson, didn't he? Jay said, what up, Joey? They should just run on the left side of the goal line and monsters will move the pile. Carlos says they got a shot to come out of the AFC. Zone 8 says, I believe we signed Bradbury, show what he does and possible trade for another corner. We signed Bradbury. Yeah, I don't know if you're trading for a corner. You're going to trade for a corner for big money as your number 2. I don't know. Just depends. Jam says cornerback in diva position. I don't think we'll ever spend that Namdi. No, hell no. Screw the Namdi money. The Byron Maxwell money. That contract was crazy. That was nuts. I'm tired of getting free agent. Besides, like getting Slay, because we know he was good. We already knew he was good at an old age anyway. It doesn't matter. But getting, having like Kerry Williams and Bradley Fletcher and even the Nate Allens of the world and Namdi and Kelvin. What the him? He was horrible. I mean, it just I don't like bandaging up this cornerback position, man. Like we after this year, they got to figure it out. With Slay, with one more year on this contract, Bradbury's a free agent. They got to figure it out. King Blade says Devon Allen makes Devon Allen. I always say Devon Allen. Please, I know I get ripped for it. So Devon Allen makes the practice squad. I believe it. John says, Joey, I think it's Austin's P. Western Kentucky. Potatoe says, I don't trust Jalen Rager returning punts, not after the freaking Bucks game. Anybody but yeah, I mean, not the Bucks game, dude. I was way behind you on that one. After those two drops against the Giants, yeah, I think I was done. I wasn't done since the Buccaneers wild card game. I was done since that Giants game where he was given 2 opportunities and totally failed. Rogue and 7 Dragon says, remember Kaiser grew up an Eagle fan. That's why he's with us over the Chargers. I believe he was going he was going on, I want to stay for the rest of his career. I think he might be a big re-sign candidate. I think he might be. So you're probably not wrong. Comment said we had a good corners in the year before Slay. I feel like we definitely need to keep him for another 2 years after his. Yeah, I feel like you can extend him. I feel like he can still play for another few years. Draft a future number one corner between next year and the year after, and let Slay kind of be his mentor. Roke said John Davis grew up Eagles fan. Took believe his grandma is a fan. Potato says I can see Rager fumbling the ball at the 5-yard line after a punt. LO says, good thing Miami canceled the practice the other day. A.J. Brown was ready to start swinging helmets like Aaron Donald. Yeah, dude, I loved it. I thought, these Miami Dolphin fans, they got so personal yesterday. Like, they were taking practice way too seriously, bro. They were taking that Tariq, they were taking that Tyreek Hill clip so serious, and they were extending that to where I just don't get it. I'm never going to get it over a practice. This is how crazy it is. I mean, I think Tua and Jalen Hurts are almost in the same position. I feel like the front office has set them up for success, and they really have to run with it this year. So, and then after when A.J. Brown put up that tweet about, put up the video of us roasting y'all corners, that's when I started laughing so hard. And I thought, holy crap, dude, this man has been the embodiment for Philly. So it's crazy. Jesus. I love AJ Brown. Pause, but I'm sorry, but I love AJ Brown. I love his attitude. I love how he defends his team. I love how he just takes no crap off nobody. Like, I love him. I really do. John says Howie's wasting the train, Rager. Jerry says Brandon Brooks deserved his contract. He was the best guard in the league at the time. Posted if JJ can get traded, so can Rager. Weapon says treat your players right. Make other players want to actually play for us. It also increases the prestige of the organization. I totally agree with that. So it says Penn State plays next Thursday night on Fox. He said it should be Deion Kane, Devin Allen starting. John says, Joey, if you're Howie, what position would you focus on next year draft? I say defensive end. Defensive end is what I'm looking for next year. Defensive end, safety, cornerback, right tackle, left tackle. So, Rod said, Sonny Samuel was the only good free agent corner that we signed. Yeah, that was pretty much it. College football 202 season starts tomorrow, 9 a.m. Rogue says they need to find the scout who figured out Lito Shepard, Sheldon Brown, and Troy Vincent were great corners. We need a scout who figured that one out and find another corner. Eddie Boat says, Shakes, could you imagine doing your job on West Coast time? Pacific time would really mess with my football schedule. Yeah, it'd be tough for me to wake up that early to watch football. It really would. I mean, I'd still do it, obviously, but waking up at 10 o'clock, before 10 o'clock in the morning, yeah, that'd be a tough one. Wake up and do your day. KOLC, what's going on? Dallas won. Jeremy says we get talk draft all day. We could talk draft at all right now. I want Hurts to succeed, but the reality is practice, good or bad. He has to show it in regular season and beat good teams before he becomes a lock. I totally agree with that. I don't know if he's going to play well. My gut feeling says he's going to have a really good year. I'm hoping that that's the case. I can't tell you if it's going to happen, but I hope it does happen. Who's our player scout? Who's our player scout right now? Weapon says season's right around the corner, dude. We're getting ready, dude. I'm getting ready for it. Comment says, yeah, it's last year too, and Hurts to prove they could be the franchise QB. I'm not 100% confident either of them can be a franchise QB, but we shall see. Comment says it would be nice if you can upgrade in the right guard position at some point next year. Yeah, they might have to upgrade both positions. Or there's another thing they could do as well. If they don't trade him, if they don't trade Dillard or whatever the case may be with him, okay, they can release him and then sign him back and redo his deal. Kind of do the same thing like they did with Fletcher Cox. If Dillard is really happy about being here, and I understand they all want to start and be somewhere else, but if Dillard wants to stay here and they could somehow release him and then maybe redo his deal like they did with Fletch, that could be another possibility, maybe. Because I don't think Dillard's going to cost that much anyway. I mean, for a new deal, what has he done? You know, I mean, he's had a couple solid games. He's got some trade value, but that's really it. You know what I mean? I wouldn't go too much into it, but I would try to re-sign him next year if you can, and then pretty much go after a right tackle in the draft. Yeah, because I would love to be walking at 10. FB is on. Mr. Bo Reps is terrified too. I'm excited, bro. Johnson, I'm pumped, Joey, for the season. Got to order my Jordan Davis jersey. Go do it, bro. Mike Jones says Hurts going to be MVP candidate. Jerry says this will be the longest 2 weeks in history waiting for the first game. Yeah, it might. It might be. It actually might be. So, might happen. So what? Dallas Cowboys forced 5 turnovers. Oh man, they're probably showing off. Mike says, "Nice show, first time watch." I appreciate you coming in, Mike. Thank you so much, man. Thank you so much. For people that just joined, there's 169 people in here. If you guys haven't subscribed to the channel. We cover the Eagles every single day. Definitely check out the content. Like the stream before you leave. It helps us out the channel a lot. The schedule for tomorrow. We should have a couple vids out tomorrow, depending on what I'm doing. There should be a couple videos out tomorrow. We will be streaming the game tomorrow night at 7 o'clock on the channel, so definitely check it out. Then we'll have the Philly Shakedown. I'm streaming from both channels, which is going to be really cool. So we're going to get together tomorrow night for the Philly Shakedown on both channels, and we're gonna do well. Yeah, I will be streaming tomorrow. We're set. We're ready to go. We're ready to go tomorrow night. Roster cuts is Tuesday. Tuesday at 4, I think. I'm not sure. They got to trim it down from 80 to 53. There's going to be cuts tomorrow. I mean, there's going to be cuts probably tomorrow night. Who knows? So, we'll see, though. Because I feel like Dillard wants to go somewhere and start. I think it's bothers him that he was a first-round pick that has to be a backup. He seems to have an attitude in interviews because of it. There's a lot of people been talking about his attitude. But, I mean, he's been playing pretty good. I mean, he's been playing pretty solid. He's had a solid camp. Grim says, season can't come fast enough. I'm hyped and our stars playing. No stars are playing tomorrow. If you're expecting stars to play, they're not. It's not happening. It's Smoke. He said, what if I don't want to subscribe? Well, I don't know what to tell you, but hopefully you do. Hopefully you do, though. I appreciate you coming in here, though. Rogue said, I know you say Dealer can't play the right tackle, but can he play right guard? No, he can't play right side, period. There's no right. He can't just play right tackle. He can't play the right side, period. Unfortunately. Starts at 7 Eastern. Mr. Bellrap says, crazy what happens to the Bills punter. Yeah, that was some crazy news. We thought Deshaun Watson news is crazy every single month, but that was totally insane. Joe said, I'll be here. Do you think we are playing starters? No starters. Nothing. JP, what's going on? He says, to be honest, when we watch horror, you root for the killer to get as many kills as possible because it's fun. Of course. Well, let me say this. There are movies, most films. These are what most films. Most films, the killer, most films, if I'm not connected or don't care or don't have any feelings towards these characters that are trying to survive, yes, that's the case. There's barely movies out there that you care for the people that are running from the killers and they do stupid things, or you just can't get emotionally attached to some of these characters. It's just the way it is. But that's how it is sometimes. Because said, man, it makes no sense for them not to play a quarter or a half. I wanted them to do that last preseason game, at least a quarter, and they never did it. Yank says, Joey, how do you circumcise a Cowboys fan? I have no idea. Oh, he says going to be some surprise cuts around the league. Howie's waiting to see a running back gets. Yeah, maybe he's waiting on a running back. There could be a running back, could be depth at safety, and especially a specialist as well. So, Colin says I wouldn't be surprised if Dillard feels we sabotage him. Maybe I am wrong, and he doesn't have negative feelings towards the team, but in interviews he seems to have most sort of negative attitude. Ryan said, "Bro, someone said Allen should start over Quez. Who said that?" Holy crap, dude. Eagles fans are crazy. Joey, how do you serve? Joe says we need in-game reps. Kick his sister in the jaw. Oh, my God. That's horrible. We need in-game reps. Yeah, trust me, dude. Trust me. There's nothing more I've wanted was for them to play in these preseason games. I mean, look, at least we got like one series. But, I mean, to me, it's just not enough. It's not enough for me, man. Sandy, what's good? What's going on, Sandy? Jason says Minshew for running back Hunt, Dillard to Jets for a second and a seventh. What do you think? Do the Jets need a tackle right now? Oh no, they already signed a tackle. They already with Becton. Becton already. So I think Dwan Brown or whatever his name is, I think signed with the Jets. I don't think they need a tackle anymore because Becton got hurt and they resigned. They actually signed another vet, so I don't think that's going to work. Minshew, I mean, you're not getting rid of Minshew. It's definitely not going to happen. That's their backup QB, man. Not going to happen unless something they get swung over by something, but we'll see. Students, I think Vic Fangio is our next defensive coordinator. It could be a possibility. If it says Allen over Quez, no way. Oak says, can we trade Dillard for a double backup left tackle and a second round pick, or even add a running back or safety like we with Baltimore? He says in a horror movie, Jalen Reagor is the type to die first. Yeah, maybe. Could be. What happened with the Bills punter? I can't even say it on stream. It's absolutely disgusting. So go on the internet and read about it. If you type his name, you'll see what happened. I can't even say it because it's really disgusting. So it's pretty bad. Trading Minshew, not smart. Howie says, as long as Howie isn't taking calls from Dallas or Dillard trade, I'm good. What happened to Bills punter? Gravy says the Eagles need a running back and overblown. We have a great running back behind center. Sam says, as fans, we want them out there, but let's be honest. If our stars get hurt, we would be trying to run someone out of town. Millen Case, it was so hype when we got Quez. He was going to show a Quez. He's going to show he should have been at least a second-round pick. I think Quez has gotten better every single year. I mean, last year, with some missed opportunity from Hurts seeing him wide open, man, this guy could have had, I am telling you, from 647 yards, this guy could have had like 800 to 900 yards or even more than that. He could have been over a 900-yard receiver last year. I think he could have had more than that. Secretly, I think he could have had more than that. Jason, what's going on, dude? I hope you're having a good day, man. Susan says Vic Fangio is actually defense consultant for Eagles right now. I didn't know that. Comment says, I don't want to trade Minshew. Hopefully Hurts does not get hurt, but if we really got injured and we had Reed Senate or QB2, then our season would be over. If Minshew is a QB2, we'd still compete. I totally agree. Yeah. You can't get rid of him. You just can't get rid of him. You can't do it, man. You can't do it. Okay. I don't know why that just happened. You can't do that, bro. It's just, no. I think I've always talked about Minshew always being on the trade block. I mean, this has always been the type of thing that I look at. Like, I feel like Minshew has always been on the trade block. I think that there's teams. I think there are teams that have called, but I don't think they haven't really pulled the trigger just because I just think there's just too much more for him. I think they feel like there's just way too much for him. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Hold on. All right. Joe said we need to keep Minshew. Joe said Vic is in the building. Gravy says our safety situation is totally fine. It's not. I wouldn't say it's screwed right now. I just feel like it just needs to be upgraded. I don't feel comfortable with too much of the depth behind it. I'm not a fan of Anthony Harris. I think Epps is a good player, but I don't think he's the future. I think he could definitely be a part of it. Ivy Smoker said, what kind of accusation was that? It was really bad. I can't even say it. You got to search his name on the internet. You'll see what it is. It's actually pretty bad. So that we got Cox replacement. Now we need replacement for Graham. I totally agree. That's why I said get a defensive end in the first round next year. Bill said he's a physical freak, Joseph. They're going to see it this year. So I said Minshew shouldn't be traded. Hurts already had an ankle surgery. Minshew was our best insurance policy. Comment says, dang, what's up with the Watkins? Hate by some people. Quez is special and underrated. Like, he had the most consistent catches on the team last year. Quez is not that replaceable. No, I'm telling you, it's you do that, forget it. Rogue says, can Dillard play left guard and then land and get your singles to right guard? I don't know. I don't think they've even tried him at left guard. So Doc's Dirty Fingers said, yo, Joey, what's your other channel, man? I got to sun you up. As in what, horror or gaming? Abby Green says, Joey, you lie, bro. Can you flex into the camera and say, go birds? Go birds. Flex, yeah. I got nothing to flex, but but extra skin. John said we need to draft a defensive end next year's draft. Epps is a good third safety. And that's why I kind of, before last year, that's why I kind of thought of him as a good, number 3 role-playing safety in this defense. So we'll see. Yo, are the official on track? What's going on, dude? He said, well, Joey, what up, boss? I'm most pumped for the defensive line rotation. If we can get home with 4 in a mixed blitzes, our DBs feast this season. Stay blessed, brother. I appreciate it so much. I totally agree with that. Look, if we have to stop making the same adjustments in every game like we did last year defensively, and you got to blitz with what you have. If Roseman gives you a defense on a silver platter with a totally night and day defense from last year, and you're not making blitzing packages, and Jordan Davis is up front taking on those double teams, you have these linebackers that can really cover these lanes and make these tackles. I think you have the linebackers to do it now. You do now. So Nick says Cowboys for more interception. We don't stand a chance. So we need to keep a decent backup. We can win games if we need them. Yeah, that's horrible, dude. Comments, our safety position is okay, but it'll be better for sure. I wouldn't say we seriously have a hole on this team this year. Yeah, I mean, I think it's just a weakened position. That's all. God forbid someone gets hurt. I mean, I could say if we get hurt at safety, it's going to be tough. Sandy said, okay, I'm calling the freaking idiot. What's wrong with these men have learned nothing from Watson? Dark Queen says, you think Kelsey was the first ballot Hall of Famer? Yeah, probably not, because he's always been undermined every time. Always been. Rogue says, Ken Dealer, Clay left guard. We move. They're not going to right Garden without work. Joe says, Flex Joe, I see you. Doc says, all the men, you can have 3 channels. I'll sub you up. Yeah, one's called the Eagles. One's called the Late Night Massacre. One's called Eagles Nest Gaming. Those are my other 2. Worst part of the Bills are apparently aware of the situation. Well, I thought the news was they didn't know. I think that's wrong, because I read that they didn't know about the situation at all. I think the cops prolonged that whole thing, because the cops didn't do anything till months later after it happened. I think that's wrong. I think from what I read, the Bills had no idea when they drafted him. And then, what was he, a 6th-round pick? All right, Comment, have a good night, dude. Yeah, he says Cowboys seconds just beat the Seattle ones. We have no chance against the superior Cowboys. Epps got better every year. Totally agree. Ray says, do you think we should draft running back first 2 rounds? No, I don't think so. I think you could draft a running back. Like I said, you have an offensive line right now for the future that's going to be a top 3 offensive line every single year. You don't need to pay. You don't need to draft early and overpay for backs. You don't. I mean, 2nd round, maybe you take a chance, but I don't. I would never draft a running back in the 1st round unless he was some generational talent that we've never seen before. I would never draft a running back in the 1st round. Millen says, you think Bates is an option still next year? Brisket looks good, but I think Cam picks, so can't complain. I think Bates is a huge option. I think when he comes off that, he kind of makes his money this year off the franchise tag, and then goes into next year as a free agent. I think there's a big chance that he comes here. So I said, Joey, how do you feel about Jurgens so far? You think he could take over a pinch at some point of the season if there's an injury? Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, there was rumors that he actually cross-trained the right guard. I mean, I don't know if he's done it. I haven't seen it yet, but he has been absolutely phenomenal. That guy has produced the most out of everybody on this team. Fantastic. Definitely a Jason Kelsey clone. There's no doubt about it. Graves says, Joey, do you see making it at cornerback and safety? I think we keep 10 total in the secondary. Slade, Bradbury, Max, Epps, Harris, all obvious. Who are the other 4 or 5? Let's see, who do you see making a cornerback and safety? Cornerback-wise, I think we're keeping 6 corners. You have Slay, Bradbury, Maddox. I think you're keeping Joe McPherson and Tay Gowan. Safety-wise, you're going to keep Harris, Epps, Wallace, and Tart, I guess. Reed Blankenship will probably be on practice squad, most likely. John says, yes, Ray, we should draft a running back next year's draft. Yang Gang says, Joey, if the Cowboys called for Dillard, how much would you ask for in a trade? A first-round pick. A first-round pick straight up. Because I'm not giving – dude, I don't want to give them any ammo. I just don't. I'm not trying to give anybody away for nothing. Like, you're trading with a rival, dude. I don't know how the hell we trade up for Devontae Smith. I don't even know how that happened. How the Cowboy – we gave up our second – we gave up our furthest third-round pick. And that pick was used – and that pick was actually from the Carson Wentz trade to the Colts. Like, how the hell did the Cowboys not ask for a lot more than a third rounder? It's crazy. Joseph Kelsey is a final battle Hall of Famer. Samson, I see you sweeping Washington, but Cowboys ain't. I think we could split with the Cowboys, but we have to sweep Washington. There's no way. All right, official on the track said the bruising back is the key. We have the tools offensively to wear defense out by the fourth. Imagine a muscle demon back just grinding them down for a fresh D-line rotation. I'm drooling. Yeah, it would be fantastic. Kid Kirk said, what do you think about Jaquiski Tartt making the roster? Jaquiski Tartt making the roster? I think I don't know, dude. I feel like as a veteran safety, he might make it because the Eagles just need a body back there. So he might actually make it. Reed, I think, is on practice squad. Kavon Wallace is probably going to make it. So, I mean, he missed a lot of valuable time in the beginning. He had some personal issues going on. So he missed a lot of valuable time. He made that one hit in that Browns game on the sideline, kind of popped him. I mean, Tartt just, boom, popped him really good. But, I mean, he was like on the third defense. So he didn't, you know what I mean? So hopefully maybe they see a little bit more from him. I don't know if he's already a lock. Could be a possibility. Fan says, yeah, the media fed us this Epstein like he's Ed Reed. Everyone sees him as a decent rotational piece until they force-fed us on him as a starter. Oh, no, I haven't fell for anything, to be honest. Like, I think he'd be a quality starter, but I think you need to have someone more superior next to him. And I think he'll play well as a role-playing safety. That's what I think of him as. But, you know, give him a chance to really make his worth this year. Joe said, I don't think the Bills would put up what we would put up bad on them. Iba Green says, how tall are you? I think I'm like 6 foot. Umber Mania says, hey, if these guys was available, should we have trade for Adams over Brown for Debo OBJ? No, I don't think so. Who that do? So Carolina lost Darnold and Corral in preseason due to injuries. Baker fell in a lovely spot. Yeah. I mean, I think they already named him the star. I think they already named him the starter regardless. So I don't think it even mattered. But, you know, we'll see. Howie's an awful kisser. Lips are way too thin. By the way, how many wide receivers we keep? I think 6. So it says Joey looks like Dallas O-line. Looks terrible. Yeah, Tyron Smith is a big loss, man. They already had to work in 2 offensive linemen this year that they drafted, but now they have to try to figure out the replacement for Tyron Smith, which is going to be interesting. Aquise Green said we got 5 players from the last 2 W championship team: Smitty, Dickerson, Jordan Davis, N'Kobe, and Job. Howie is really building a dynasty. What do you think? I think it's great. Well, when Jeffrey Lurie was like, you should draft more players from Alabama or from these SEC teams. Yeah, maybe he should have been doing that. Fucking Jeffrey Lurie's been in the way of every damn thing. I already know it. Because I think Jesse Bates wanted to make sure he got paid and we could still trade for him. I could see us. Yeah, but we can't trade for a guy on a franchise tag because when he's on say we trade for Bates and he comes here and he's on a franchise tag, not only have to pay him a lot of money right now, but you can't extend him on a franchise tag. That's the downfall of trading for a player on a franchise tag. It completely takes the money off the books for the Bengals. So they, depending, if they trade him during the season, it just depends, but it makes no sense. You can't trade for a guy on a franchise tag. It's literally, it makes absolutely no sense. Fly for Fly today. Are starters playing tomorrow? No starters tomorrow. So Joe said we didn't get a first. If we don't get a first round dealer, it ain't going. No, we ain't helping the Cowboys. I think Greg Ward's gone too. Fourth quarter, I totally agree with that. It really sucks, dude. Like, and I feel like Nick hasn't really. I feel like Doug. I felt like Doug with Greg Ward. I feel like he was a lot more valuable to Doug than he was with Nick. But with a toe injury and still out, missing all this time, he might be gone. Tar's been the most game experience. We need to keep him. Yeah, I think that's part of it too. Joe says he was named the stars last week. Gracie, who wins the following battle? Pick 2, Rager, Kane, Covey, Allen. If there's no Rager trade that happens, I think if Rager's not getting traded, I think Rager's going to make it and Kane will make it. Just depends. I think Rager makes it and Covey makes it. Rager and Covey. Sorry, not Rager and Kane. If Rager's not here, it's Kane and Covey. If Rager is here, it's going to be Rager and Covey, if that makes sense. Brett says, but Debo is better than AJ. OJ is better than AJ. Rather have Odell or Debo, no offense, but to AJ Brown. You're going to see what AJ Brown does this year, dude. He's going to shut you up on that this year. Why is Siri playing on my phone? Okay. Grady said, did you see the Sam Darnold injury? Yeah, it was pretty bad. Grim said, if word goes, he might get picked up by the Jags. Yeah, probably. There's no doubt about it. I think he'll get picked up immediately, depending on how long this injury is going to be for him, this toe injury that he has. Yes, I think if a second were offered for Dillard, he'd be gone. Yeah, maybe. I think maybe he would be. Hightower's definitely gone too. I totally agree with that. Totally agree. I think Hightower definitely is going to be out of here. But yeah. We're going to go for another 10 minutes, guys. We'll go for another 10 minutes, and then we're going to be out of here because tomorrow we're going to be streaming tomorrow night. We're going to have tomorrow night's going to be crazy. 2 streams tomorrow between the last preseason game. Thank God we are at the last preseason game. And a lot of videos are going to be made this past weekend, this weekend coming up. So tomorrow and the next day. So it's going to be kind of nuts. Should have a couple videos out tomorrow. 181 in the chat. Subscribe if you guys haven't subscribed to the channel. Like the stream if you guys haven't. It does help with the channel a lot. Check out the pinned comment for extra content from the memberships. So definitely check all that great stuff out. So appreciate it, everybody, coming into the stream today. We haven't streamed in a bit. I felt like streaming today was perfect because the Eagles weren't practicing, and it was a good day just to do one today. So. Rez, I love AJ Brown, but OBJ is the guy that loves deep routes. I lost my mind when we got AJ, but I've seen an OBJ fan since LSU days. Well, that's probably why you like him so much. So I don't blame you. You got your favorite. So I feel like they're going to be doing some mid. I mean, what I noticed from these preseason games, especially from the starters in that first game, a lot of mid-tier throws, middle of the field throws that they barely did last year. So we need to throw on stride, middle of the field. Decrease Green, what's going on, man? He says, I'd like to just give us wins, but I swear we should put up at least 60 on the lines. I'm getting Mike Vick on Monday Night Football against Redskins vibes. We'll see what happens, dude. The first game is always a toss-up. The teams that are supposed to lose normally win. The teams that are supposed to win normally lose. It's the first game of the season. It's really getting out of that funk. Some of these starters haven't played since the preseason, our first preseason game for some guys. So it's always like that, man. JB says Bill's punter accused of faking Pokemon cards. Horrible. Oh, it's horrible. Yeah, it was horrible. We got a super chat for Joseph. Thanks. What's going on, man? Thank you so much. Says love your channel. Got to get up early. All right, dude. Well, hopefully see you in the stream tomorrow, man. Thank you so much for coming in, dude. So much. Don't let your sons grow up to be punters. Phil D said, my fault. My finger timed out Grim Reaper. Oh, no, you're good, man. I didn't even notice it at all. I didn't look at my phone, so I didn't see that happen, and nobody notified me on here. No, you're good, man. You're good. You're good. As long as at least you didn't hide him or block him, you're fine. Yeah, because every time the Eagles have a big play, it makes me want to do a line. Joe said, I will definitely. All right, dude. I'll see you tomorrow, dude. I'll see you tomorrow. Friggin' Siri, man. Why is this happening? I'm not even saying, hey, Siri. So, yeah, so this weekend's going to be nuts. You got the preseason game tomorrow. Then you have the cuts by Tuesday. So a lot of news is going to come out this weekend on who they're cutting, what's going to happen. So it's going to be an interesting day. I Destroy says, is the starters playing tomorrow? No starters tomorrow. I think you're starting 6 is AJ Brown, Smith, Pascal, Watkins, Rager, and Allen. He's my favorite because this man is the best. Tyreek Hill. Grace said, who are you looking at? I'm looking out for Carson Strong to get some reps, dude. 1 pass this whole entire preseason so far. I'm looking out for Carson Strong, Kennedy Brooks at running back, Covey, Allen, whether it's at receiver or special teams. That's really it. I mean, that's really, really it. I don't know what else. I don't know if they're going to be playing Jordan Davis that much. I don't know if they're going to play the Kobe Dean, some of these other. I'm not really sure what they're going to do. Squee says, see, totally off topic, but who wins, Michael or Jason? It's a tough one, man. I can't even answer that, man. I don't think none of them win. I think they fight. I think they just fight for hours and days until they get tired. That's really it. No one, but I'd love to see Pay as a punter. Is good job, less likely to get hurt. Brother says, do you think Allen makes it or at least practice squad? I think he makes practice squad. I think he does. Great. I'm focused on cornerback tomorrow. Yeah, it could be. Yeah, like we'll get some more reps from Job and McPherson. I guess that's two other guys we go watch out for tomorrow. It just depends, man, because even, like you're going to be seeing a lot of third. You're not going to be seeing first and second teams. From the other team, you might see a lot of third, fourth stringers tomorrow, very early. So, Footy says phones are so sensitive. Joe said, I don't think Carson Strong is it. Ron says, I think AJ is better wide receiver than Debo, hands down. I think AJ's got a good point to really. I don't think he's going to be used like Debo has been used. I mean, I think AJ's in a really good situation now, especially with Devontae Smith, Dallas Goedert, Quez Watkins, Zach Pascal. I think he's in a really good situation right now. Umbreon Mania says, since OBJ is available, would you sign him? If no, why not? No, I mean, because we're good at receiver right now. I mean, plus OBJ is coming off of an ACL on top of it, so. Coming off an ACL. I mean, I don't know why I would even sign him at this point. Record prediction right now, if everything goes perfectly perfect, I think they win 13 games. And they could win more, but 13 would be good enough for me. 10 would be a failed season. 11, 12, okay. So we'll see. But that's about it, guys. Tomorrow's schedule, we'll be streaming the game at 7. We'll start earlier, probably like 6 o'clock. We'll probably start like an hour earlier, and then 8. And then by 9 o'clock, something like. Well, actually not by 9 o'clock. By late night tomorrow night, we're gonna do the Philly Shakedown, but we're gonna be streaming from both channels at the same time to go over everything that's been going on, and obviously the stuff from this week with Miami and stuff like that. So we're gonna go through a lot of stuff on Saturday. So definitely join up. Subscribe to the channel if you guys haven't. Like the stream if you guys haven't. And we'll see you on the next one tomorrow. See you guys for the game. All right, guys. You guys have a fantastic day. Shake Squad up, follow slide. Peace out, guys.